Welcome students to Naveen Sir Physics classes. So in last lectures we completed law of conservation of linear momentum, and we also discussed some applications based on the law of conservation of linear momentum. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about collision. So collision is a phenomena in which the law of conservation of momentum is valid. So now we are going to discuss in detail about collision. So how many types of collisions and what are the velocities of the object after participating in collision. So everything we are going to discuss in detail about collision in this lecture. Right. So we know that already what is collision. Collision is a strong interaction between the two bodies. In a short interval of time, the redistribution of momentum takes place. So, based on the law of conservation of momentum and law of conservation of kinetic energy. Law of conservation of momentum and law of conservation of kinetic energy. We are classifying the collisions into two types. Sir, what are they? So one is elastic collision, another one is inelastic collision. So before going to discuss about elastic and inelastic collision, let us take a look about what is meant by kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is the virtue or it is the property of an object when it is moving with a particular velocity. Okay, so when the object is in motion, it has momentum. We know that already. Momentum, we can write mass of product between mass and velocity. So along with this momentum, when the object is in motion, so due to virtue of its motion, it possesses some energy. That energy is known to be kinetic energy. So kinetic energy we can write half into mass into velocity square. This is the expression for kinetic energy. That means if an object is in motion, definitely the object carries momentum and as well as energy. What is energy? Kinetic energy, because it is in motion. That's why for a moving body the energy is known to be kinetic energy. So here we can get one relation between this kinetic energy and momentum also. From this equation number 1, we can write V equals to P by M, we can write. Substitute this P by M in equation number 2. So kinetic energy is equals to 1 by 2 into M into P square by M square. So M get cancelled. We are going to get kinetic energy is equals to P square by 2M. So this is the relation between kinetic energy and linear momentum. Relation between kinetic energy and linear momentum. So here you can keep the heading. The concept is kinetic energy. So what is kinetic energy? It is the energy pursued by a body due to its motion is called as kinetic energy. So if the object is in motion, definitely it possesses the kinetic energy. Sir, what about unit of this? So unit is joule. So unit of energy is joule and unit of linear momentum is kg meter per second, and this is the relation. That means kinetic energy and momentum are directly proportional and kinetic energy and mass are inverse proportional. So this much is enough to discuss our concept. So we know that already Sir, what is mean by law of conservation of momentum? Conservation means remains same. We know that already. Remains same. Okay. So if a collision or the collision in which conservation of momentum is valid and conservation of kinetic energy is valid, so that kind of collision is known to be elastic collision. Right on? A collision in which law of conservation of linear momentum and law of conservation of kinetic energy are valid. That means energy remains constant, momentum also constant. But in case of a inelastic collision, it is a collision in which only law of conservation of linear momentum is valid, but not law of conservation of kinetic energy. That means some energy is lost during the collision process. That means initial kinetic energy of system is not equals to final kinetic energy of system, but initial momentum of system is equals to final momentum of system. And here initial kinetic energy of system is equal to final kinetic energy of system, and initial linear momentum is equal to final linear momentum. Okay, right, now get into the in detail discussion about the elastic collision. Sir, what are elastic collision and what are the velocities of the bodies after participating in collision? Right, so elastic collision. So just now we discussed what is elastic collision. It is a collision. What are conserved? Law of conservation of momentum and law of conservation of kinetic energy, both are conserved. Let us consider two objects of masses m1 moving with velocity u1 and m2 moving with velocity u2. So this is initial. That means it is before collision. So before collision, whatever the quantities, they are known to be initial quantities. So together I am calling them as a system. Let us write momentum of the system. So initial momentum of system. How can you write momentum of the first body m1 u1 and momentum of the second body m2 u2. So together we can write m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is initial linear momentum of system. In a similar manner, I am writing initial kinetic energy of system. So kinetic energy of the first object is of m1 u1 square, and kinetic energy of the second object is of m2 u2 square. So you can add them. We are going to get net momentum of net kinetic energy of system m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. Okay, this is initial kinetic energy and initial momentum. Now I am taking one condition here, u1 greater than u2. So when velocity of first body is greater than second body, so at certain instant it going to participate in collision with the second body. So during the collision, what happens? The force exerted by 2 on 1 and force exerted by 1 on 2. This is F21 and this is F12. So this is what during collision. Okay, right. After collision, they are going to separate. So no change in mass. m1, its final velocity is v1. m2, its final velocity is v2. So this is after collision. If you observe this, the velocities of objects before and after collision, they are confining to a straight line. That means before collision they are in the same line, and during collision they are in the same line, and after collision also they are in the same line. So if the collisions are in the same line, then we can call them as a one dimensional elastic collision. So one dimension means the velocities are confined to along a straight line. So this is going to happen in during collision phenomena. Okay na? So this figure you can draw as it is a line. So this collision is also known to be 1D, one dimensional collision. Right, let us come to the what about the final quantities. So what are the final quantities here? Final momentum of system Pf, we can write m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Next, final kinetic energy of system half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. So let us apply the conservations. So both conservations are valid. So we can write from law of conservation of linear momentum, we can write initial momentum equals to final momentum m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Let us try to bring the one quantities one side and two quantities other side. So m1 u1 minus m1 v1 m2 v2 minus m2 u2. I am interchanging the quantity, that's it. So this is going this side and this is going this side, that's it. So m1 common from the left hand side, u1 minus v1, and m2 common, we can get v2 minus u2. It is right as equation number 5. This is we are going to get according to law of conservation of linear momentum. Now let us write the expressions in the terms of law of conservation of kinetic energy. Okay, so from law of conservation of kinetic energy, half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square, half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. So we can take the common 1 by 2, or first we will shift the terms, half m1 u1 square minus half m1 v1 square, half m2 v2 square minus half m2 u2 square. So we can get common m1, half m1 u1 square minus v1 square, half m2 common v2 square minus u2 square. We can cancel 1 by 2 on both sides. The rest of the quantity is u1 square minus v1 square m2 into v2 square minus u2 square. This is equation number 6. Now let us divide six by 5. So what is 6? m1 u1 square v1 square, left hand side divided by left hand side, right hand side divided by right hand side. So if you see that equation number 5, we have the equation number 5 like this. Okay, let m2 v2 square minus u2 square m2 into v2 minus u2. So we can cancel mass quantities, and then this is in the term of a square minus b square. If it is in the form of a square minus b square, we can write a plus b into a minus b. Similar in the form, I am expanding that u1 plus v1 u1 minus v1 by u1 minus v1. Next, v2 plus u2 v2 minus u2 upon v2 minus u2. So what is going to get cancelled? These terms will be get cancelled. So what is the rest of the quantity remains? u1 plus v1 v2 plus u2. Let us bring initial values one side, final values another side. u1 minus u2 equals to v2 minus v1. So we are getting a relation here between the relative velocities. So this is the change in velocities with respect before going to participate in collision, and this is change in velocities of objects after collision. So simply we can write this is relative velocities before collision is equals to relative velocities after collision. Okay, so now this result we are going to use to find out what are the final velocities after the collision. Okay, so let us write u1 minus u2 plus v1 equals to u2 plus v1 equals to v2. So this is equation number 8. Now let us write the expression for v1. So v1, how we are going to get v1? v1 will be this side, rest of the quantity will go this. That means v2 minus u1 plus u2. So these 8 and 9 equations I am going to substitute in this expression. We have this expression m1 u1 plus m2 u2 is equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So I am going to substitute separately. One time I am substituting equation number 8 in the place of v2. When I am substituting in the place of v2, I am going to get v1. What is final velocity of the first object I am going to get? When I am substituting this v1, I am going to get v2 because already I have the values of u1 and u2. So within the known terms, we are going to get the values of v1 and v2. Simple. I am eliminating v2 when I am substituting equation number 8. I am eliminating v1 when I am substituting or when I am going to get for v2 value. Okay, let us do that process. So what we are going to get, let us see. So what we have, u1 minus u2 equals to v2 minus v1. So v2 we will make the subject, v2 is equals to u1 minus u2 plus v1. So substitute in m1 u1 plus m2 u2 m1 v1 plus m2 v2. then m1 u1 m2 u2 same side, no change in that quantity. m1 v1 m2 of u1 minus u2 plus v1, m1 v1 multiply this m2 u2 minus m2 u1 minus m2 u2 plus m2 v1. Our aim is to write the expression for v1 itself. Okay, so v1 we are keeping the same side, m1 v1 plus m2 v2. The rest of these two quantities m2 that other than quantities of that I am shifting that side, I am shifting to left side. So what I am going to get, m1 u1 plus m2 u2, this is minus m2 u1 plus m2 u2. This is on LHS. So if you observe this m2 u2, we can write 2 m2 u2, and here m1 u1 minus m2 u1. So from these two we can get the common, u1 as common. So after getting u1 common, we are going to write m1 minus m2, here v1 common, so v1 m1 plus m2. So our aim is to find v1 only. So v1 m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2 m2 u2 by m1 plus m2. So this is the expression for final velocity of first object. Next, let us substitute v1. So v1, how can you write v1? From the same v1 v2 minus u1 plus u2. So again substitute in the same expression, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 equals to m1 v1 plus m2 v2. Okay, let us substitute and find out the result. m1 u1 m2 u2 equals to m1 times of v2 minus u1 plus u2 plus m2 v2. So multiply this m1 v2 minus m1 u1 plus m1 u2 m2 v2. So our aim is to find v2 alone. v2 I am keeping the same side, m1 v2 plus m2 v2, rest quantities this side, m1 u1 plus m2 u2 minus m1 u2 plus m1 u1. So m1 u1 m1 u1 2 m1 u1, and from this u2 common, after getting u2 common from these two terms, we are going to get m2 minus m1. So from RHS v2 common, m1 plus f2. Now I am shifting this time, I am writing the denominator separately, therefore I am going to get 2 m1 u1 by m1 plus m2 plus m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2. This is the final velocity of second object. Final velocity of second object. Okay, give it as 9 and 10. Okay, so in this way we can find out the final velocities of object after the collision. Let us discuss some special cases based on this. So what are special cases? Let us see the special cases. What we got? So we got that v1 is equals to m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2m2 u2 by m1 plus m2. And then v2 we got 2m1 u1 by m1 plus m2 plus m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2. So let us take case 1. That if m1 equals to m2, so what happens if both objects are equal masses? So two objects of equal masses are participating in collision. Let us see. So substitute where m1 m2 is there, m, and with same initial velocities u1 and u2, right? In the v1 I am substituting m1 as m, m2 as m by m plus m u1 plus 2m u2 as it is, so m plus m. So m minus m 0, the rest of the term will be also 0. 2m by 2m u2. So v1 equals to u2. Okay, right. Substitute the same in v2. So 2m u1 as it is, in the place of m1 is m, m2 is also m, plus m minus m, m plus m u2. 2m by m, 2m u1 0. Therefore 2m get cancelled. So v2 is equals to u1. If you observe the result carefully, if two identical bodies are participating in 1D collision, what happens? The velocities are exchanged after the collision. It's a very important result we are getting. That means when the two identical bodies of equal masses, for suppose let us imagine, so m1 equals to 4 kg, m2 equals to 4 kg, moving with velocity 4 meter per second, 6 meter per second. Okay na? So if they are participating in collision, after the collision what will happen? v1 becomes u2, v2 becomes u1. That means v1 equals to u2 means 6 and u2 equals to 4. That means what happens here? The velocity of the first body is taken by the second body, the velocity of second body is taken by the first body. Okay na? So this is one of the important case. So if this condition will be given without doing the problem, if you remember this application, then we can directly attend the question. Right, next case 2. Sir, what is case 2? So in case 2, let us see. If m1 is equal to m2 but u2 is 0, that means the second object is at rest. Identical only, m1 u1 u2 is 0 and this is m2. Let us see what happened. What is v1? v1 m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1 plus 2m2 u2 by m1 plus m2. So however this we are going to get 0 because mm same, that will be 0, and 2m u2 also 0. If this is 0, the total quantity v1 we are going to get 0. Next, sir, what about velocity of the second body? So v2 is equals to m1 2m1 u1 by m1 plus m2, m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2. So however this u2 is 0, then this quantity is 0. So 2m u1 by 2m because m plus m. So v2 is equals to u1. What does it mean? If two identical bodies are participating on a collision, if second object is at rest, what will happen? The first object comes to rest. That means it will stop here only. First one comes to rest, and then what will happen? The second object is taking the speed of the or energy of the first one. It moves with a velocity of the first body. So generally this phenomena we can observe when we are playing a carom. So when you are playing a carom board, if you hit the coins, so two coins, not with a striker, if one coin with another coin, so if you hit it fast or with a greater speed, what will happen? The second coin will move forward and the first coin will becomes in the position of the second coin. In the same way, this we can also observe in billiards game, so or snooker. In snooker we are using different shape of the balls and arranging on the table. So by with a cue they are hitting. So when they are hitting with a white ball, if one ball they are hitting with another ball, then what will happen? This ball is striking this ball, and then the second ball will be in set into motion and the first ball will be comes into rest. So in this case what will happen? The billiard balls are identical in masses and first body is in motion, second body is at rest. If the first object is in motion, second object is at rest, the velocity of the first body is taken by the second body and velocity of the second body is taken by the first body. Same like a previous example only, they are exchanging their velocities. So exchanging the velocities only, v2 comes as u1 and v1 comes as 0. So in that way the velocities are redistributing after collision. Let us take one more case. Okay, case 3. Sir, what is case 3? In case 3, if m2 is much greater than m1 and second object is at rest, that means m2 is heavier and m1 is lighter. Okay, m1, m2 and u2 is 0, and this is moving with u1 and participating in second object. So when m2 is much greater than m1, that means this heavier object mass is in kilogram, this is in grams. So therefore we can neglect the mass of m1. We can neglect m1. Where m1 is there, we can neglect the term. So write the expression for v1, m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1, 2m2 u2 by m1 plus m2. So u2 0, this term will be 0. Next, m1 minus m2. So I told you that already, where m1 is there, we can neglect the m1. So this we can neglect and this we can neglect. So what is the rest of our quantity? Minus m2 by m2 into u1. So get cancel. v1 is equals to minus u1. Next, sir, what about v2? So v2 formula 2m1 u1 by m1 plus m2, m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2. So 2m1 u1. So 2m1 u1 2, this value we can neglect. That means if you are neglecting this, the total term will be 0 and u2 is 0. Therefore net is completely 0. So what we can analyze from this, when a lighter body is participate in collision with heavier body, what will happen? The velocity of second body or heavier body remains same. But what happens to the velocity of the first one? The lighter body returns with same velocity. So here we can take one best example for this. When we are striking or when we are hitting a ball towards a wall, what will happen in this case? Compared to the mass of the ball, the mass of the wall is very high. That means mass of the wall is much greater than mass of the ball. Then what will happen in this case? The ball returns with the same velocity. That means it retracing its path. Velocity is negative. It's moving in forward direction, velocity positive. When it is coming back, velocity will be negative. And then what is the change in velocity of the ball? There is no change in the speed of the ball, because the ball is at rest. Again, before collision it is at rest, after collision also it is at rest. Okay, right. Next case. If m1 is much greater than m2 and u2 is at rest, second object is at rest. Now the scenario is changes. So u1, u2 0, and we are taking the condition m1 is much greater than m2, therefore we can neglect m2. Write the expression for v1 and v2. So v1, m1 minus m2 by m1 plus m2 into u1, plus 2 m2 u2 by m1 plus m2. Okay, right, see, so u2 0, this term total is 0. m1 m2 we can neglect, so if we are neglecting m2, this no need to consider, so m1 by m1 into u1, so v1 is equals to u1, that is no change in velocity of the heavier body. Let us check what happens the velocity in the second body. So m2 minus m1 by m1 plus m2 into u2 plus 2 m1 u1 by m1 plus m2. This is however 0 because u2 is 0. 0 plus 2 m1 u1 by, we can neglect this value m1, m1 get cancel, therefore 2 u1. That means after collision what happens, the second object, that means lighter object, moves with twice the speed of heavier object. Speed in first object, no change in speed of first object, it continue with the same velocity. Okay, so this is the complete information about 1D collision. Okay, in next lecture we are going to discuss what about inelastic collision, and there we have one important application, that is perfectly inelastic collision, that we will discuss in next lecture. So take care, stay safe.